Assalamualaikum dan selamat pagi semua. Apa khabar semua FPL managers? Harap semua dalam keadaan sihat sejahtera. FPL Jedi Show kembali ke udara pada pagi Sabtu seperti biasa. Okay, kali ini untuk kita memperlihatkan Game Week 15 transfer deadline. Okay, nama saya Hafiz. Seperti biasa, co-host saya Azmin. Apa khabar pada pagi ni?
Khabar baik, okay. Alhamdulillah, ready to go. Quite excited with this short turnaround time because we got more matches coming up. So it's fun, but stressful. But it's important to still have fun.
Okay, kita seperti yang Azmin maklumkan tadi, okay, Game Week 14 baru saja berlalu. Rasanya tak sempat kita tengok atau review team performance Game Week 14. Okay, dah masuk Game Week 15 which is hari ini punya deadline yang akan berada pada pukul 7 malam seperti biasa kan? Betul lah. Okay, and then kita akan tengok. So, apa akan kita buat pada hari ini, Min? Okay, kita tweak sikit. Kita akan review our team Game Week 14 quickly. And then kita akan masukkan fixture pada Game Week 15. And that what is our target for this week lah and the team news.
Yep.
Okay, I think morning rakan FPL. Thank you for joining. I think last week just a quick recap saja. Saya tahu ada last week macam ada masalah sikit dari segi posting dalam kita punya show sebab ada block, tapi isu tu telah resolve dan insyaAllah pada hari ini semuanya berjalan lancar insyaAllah. Okay, let's go to our agenda ataupun perkara yang kita akan cerita pada pagi ni, Min.
Yep.
Alright, let's go to your team first. How you did last, okay, Game Week 14 lah, baru a few days. Silakan.
Okay, so yeah, all in all, I think I took a hit, so it's actually 62, not 66. And the main transfers were to get a proper keeper after Foster got injured as well. So I brought in Ramsdale, and I also brought in Mount for Havertz. So on the net effect was good. I'm satisfied. Mount scored and assisted.
So aku rasa Mount punya pick tu power lah. Walaupun aku tak yakin kau yakin sangat, so aku respect that.
I guess the question was, I guess, mainly because the popular option was to go for Jota, and to be fair, Jota did score as well. But bearing in mind that I had to take a hit, so in the end the Mount pick turned out better for me. So 12 minus 4 is 8. So it kind of evens out. Although to be fair, you could argue that it's because it's really Ramsdale. So because it's a forced I had to get a keeper replacement because Foster, we're not sure how long he's going to be out for, and given the short rest in between matches, Foster might be out for quite a few game weeks. Okay, so other than that, it was not a great time for the defense. So none of the defenders returned, and I have to say that at a few hours before deadline, my captain was actually TAA, and I swapped it. I think in the last hour I moved it back to Salah, and thank goodness I did because we see Salah scoring 2 goals in that Everton route. Bowen again disappointed, but he did get in a few good chances, but hopefully he'll come good in future matches. So other than that, so Salah was the bulk of my points, and imagine, but Mount is the second, and Mount is the key for. Even though I dropped Frank, I'm not complaining. Like 40,000, it could just be a difference of 2 points, so it's not that bad. So and actually, I had to call on my bench because James and Foden were injured. Yeah, so as a result, Tony, who I benched, came back in, and Livramento came back in. So not a big difference in terms of point, in terms of the bench this week.
So aku rasa at least kau lega lah. Wilson did perform and dia score goal. I think 9 points dapat ya.
Yeah, so Wilson came good after 2 blanks, and then this week will also be it where I expect him to score, and after that we'll see what I do with
Yes,
him.
yes. Sebab Newcastle lawan Burnley this week. So okay lah, investment bagus lah. At least 2 blank tapi akhirnya dapat point. Kita kadang-kadang kena sabar lebih sikit. I think kan, just recap lah kan. Salah score double goal lawan dengan Everton. Aku pasti ramai manager tak akan berani letak kat tempat lain dah. Salah boleh score anytime, anywhere.
Well,
So I feel the same thing this week. Later kita akan run through.
Okay.
So itulah, aku rasa nobody dare to go anywhere else unless you nak try this week lawan Spurs lawan Norwich lah kalau nak.
Well, bear in mind, I did captain someone else in game week 13. I did captain TA in game week 13, and because Salah only got an assist, TA got a clean sheet and assist, I think. So that's why he turned out slightly better. Yeah, but we'll see. Yeah, let's see.
Okay. Let's go to my team, quickly run through. Aku dapat 69 point. Rasa lega pun ada kecewa pun ada setengah-setengah player lah. Okay. So my rank naik sikit 178,000 ke 166,000. Alhamdulillah, tapi still gap very tight. That for sure. Aku hari tu tertinggal sikit pada hari Sabtu ni, match jatuh sampai 2,000 lebih. So anything can happen. So nombor 1 keeper Guita continue mengecewakan. I don't want to say anything. I think sebab kecederaan Anderson tu yang menyebabkan defense Crystal Palace agak lemah lah dengan ketiadaan dia. Aku rasa itulah puncanya lah minggu ni lawan Manchester United. I think
no, it's also but can I, on Crystal Palace, it's also because MacArthur, who is normally there in the middle of the park, is also injured. Yeah, so Schlupp isn't exactly the best. He was never meant to be in that position. So yeah, I can see the problems.
Nanti later kau update lah sikit Crystal Palace punya news. Adakah player ni kembali atau tidak? Defend macam kau kata tadi, TAA Cancelo, tapi aku rasa bertuah sebab aku dapat Regulon at the right time. Okay, assist and also clean sheet and 3 bonus point. Aku dapat 12 point. So nanti can describe that feeling. Aku sebenarnya nak bawa masuk masa aku wildcard, tapi aku masih juggle between players. Aku miss dia punya 9 point tak silap masa tu. Tapi kali ni aku lega lah dapat 12 point, dan lawan Norwich this week definitely aku akan keep dia lah. Okay. Livramento masuk sebab James tak main. Okay, 1 point saja. Gallagher lawan Aston Villa pun tak ada dapat apa, dapat yellow card saja untuk aku 1 point. So paksa bersabar kot. Okay, tapi harga
Leeds. They played Leeds kan last week.
Leeds. So concede at the last minute sama. Itu Guita lah concede kalau dia dapat clean sheet kan. Penalty Rafinha. So affected aku punya Guita dengan Gallagher point. It's okay, 60 juta still aku boleh bersabar lah ya. Tapi yang aku tak boleh sabar adalah aku pilih Gundogan. Lepas tu dengan harapan dia boleh perform lah. Tapi tak, out of nowhere tak main dan terpaksa lah bench. Aku kau tahu lah, between dua, Silva ataupun Gundogan. In the end salah pick lah. Silva perform sekali lagi, dapat bonus point. 10 point dia dapat. So itulah beza pointnya. Ambil ubat. So tak tahulah, nanti team news Man City kau share lah. Aku itchy pula nak tukar Gundogan kalau dia still injured, but see how it goes. Jota continue performing. Son akhirnya deliver another 8 point. I think dia dapat goal Tapi aku tengok game tu macam dia dapat assist satu own goal tu. So not sure dia tak dapat point. Okay, it's okay. Salah 30 point, 15 points from dia punya brace. Okay. And then Tony and Antonio did nothing. 2 and the 1 point. Antonio ramai orang dah start bawa keluar dah. Memang gila-gila bawa keluar. Tapi since fixture akan turn, aku rasa the right time to keep, but see how it goes. Okay. So that is my team lah for this week. Let's go to our game week 15 punya fixture, man.
Okay, yep, let's go.
Okay, apa yang akan berlaku pada minggu ni? Early kick-off 8.30, 8.30. West Ham lawan Chelsea. Okay, it's a big match juga sebab dua-dua dalam top 4 bracket sekarang. Walaupun West Ham seri satu sama dengan Brighton, kita dah tahu West Ham mampu mengalahkan pasukan gergasi seperti Liverpool pun sendiri dah buktikan dekat home. So Chelsea kena berhati-hati. So that's why it's a good match to me. Newcastle lawan Burnley, Southampton lawan Brighton dan Wolves lawan Liverpool pada pukul 11 malam ni. Okay. Then tengah malam Man City lawan Watford. Itu another tasty match lah ya. Kalau ada aset Man City. Tapi aset Watford juga saya rasa tak perlu takut untuk letak main jika Dennis King keep performing lah ya. Yeah. Alright. Then hari Ahad kita ada Leeds lawan Brentford, Manchester United yang kembali menyinar, especially mengalahkan Arsenal 3-2 baru-baru ni dengan new manager referee ni pasti ingin membuktikan sesuatu. Beliau akan melayan Crystal Palace yang terumbang-ambing setakat ni. Dan Spurs lawan Norwich. Okay, so ada game yang interesting kita boleh lihat. Pada pukul 12.30 malam hari Ahad, Aston Villa lawan Leicester. Aston Villa nak bounce back daripada kekalahan yang baru ni. Leicester pula seri 2 sama dengan Southampton. Leicester has been leaky all the way, so mungkin Aston Villa akan score gila-gila game ni. And last but not least, on Monday itself pukul 4 pagi, Everton lawan Arsenal. Okay, Everton yang merudum injury kepada semua, banyak player dia terlibat. So mungkin some update untuk Everton punya team dan juga Arsenal lah. So Almin, over to you on the team news.
Okay, so let's look at West Ham. Okay, West Ham, the main question is Cresswell. So we know that Cresswell had had a niggle injury. He wasn't risked for the previous match. So at the moment, they say according to team news, he has been training a bit, but it does. From the press conference, it doesn't seem confident enough that he will actually play. So I wouldn't be surprised if they continue to have Ben Johnson and as a left back and Kufel as the right back. Yeah. So apparently Cresswell did some light training according to David Moyes, but yeah, it's a bit doubtful there. So other than that, everyone's okay for West Ham. For Chelsea, more importantly, apparently James is back, so we know how he suddenly.
Itu berita yang dinantikan, James. Okay.
Yeah, so I managed to jinx him by picking him the week before. So Chelsea James is back, and I think everyone. So another question is whether or not Lukaku will play. And we don't know. Yeah, because Thomas Tuchel was not giving anything away. He was quite dodgy about it. He didn't want to say who's. Yeah, he actually said that. I want the opponent to know very late, so I'm not going to tell you. So I don't know. He started to play this kind of game with the journalists, and
marah kot.
Yeah, but other than that, Chilwell still out, Kante is still out, Kovacic is still out. So those are the.
So I think kalau macam tu, I think dengan Kaloba pun out, so mungkin Azpilicueta atau Christensen main dekat situ.
Okay, so I was looking at FPL statistics in terms of price movements, and you can tell that Rudiger, people are picking up Rudiger, and there may be two reasons for this. One is that Alonso's form is a bit dodgy. He looked terrible, and in the match against Watford, there were analysis that came out that showed that Watford were deliberately targeting Chelsea's left flank. So they are really aware of how culpable Marcus Alonso's defensive capabilities can be an issue, and that's where eventually they got their goals from. So it was really clear that strategy, and he was exposed quite a few times. So it may be because of that, and given that he also only scored 1 point last week, and then I think those who were still considering a Chelsea asset ended up are now going for Rudiger instead. And I guess it also assists the fact that because of Chalobah getting injured, so Rudiger becomes the ultimate safe pick now. I mean, I feel he was a safe pick before. He will start most games, but with Chalobah out, it reduces those options even more. Yeah. So coming back to the Alonso issue. So now West Ham, are they going to do the same? So if they do the same, then Bowen becomes an interesting option because Bowen's the guy who's going to be playing on that side. So if he's going to exploit that as well, but we don't know if they can or can't is a different story. Given that West Ham played against Brighton and only managed a draw last week, so there you go.
Yep. So game ni I think can be a tight match tapi could be high scoring juga kalau dua-dua attacking lah. Cuma sekarang ni Chelsea punya midfield tu lah kita macam not sure who's going to play.
Yeah. But Jorginho is also available now, and Timo Werner is also fit as well. So he has more options again. So it's a question.
So kalau owner seperti Kai Havertz, bagaimana kalau masih ada Kai Havertz?
I would be worried if I had Havertz. But to be fair, after the post-match conference in Chelsea, Tuchel said that Havertz was the only person who was playing to his level. So, which sounds good. It seems to be because everyone else are lagging. Because even though they did end up winning last week, but he was not satisfied with the performance, and so I think Havertz might still be safe for this week.
Okay. Like everyone knows, this busy period Chelsea akan main Champions League next week. So too many matches kita definitely expect rotation berlaku. So saya agak uncomfortable lah untuk have asset Chelsea yang mahal-mahal lah. I think kalau macam Mason Mount yang 7.5 yang mungkin antara yang kesebelasan yang akan main, I think is a one of the better pick lah Tapi macam aku nak pilih buat Lukaku sekarang pun dia tak start main lagi full minutes pun, aku rasa not the right time yet. Okay, let's go to next game. Newcastle lawan Burnley. Ramai juga asset Newcastle nak tahu kalau ada apa-apa yang perlu mereka risaukan seperti Callum Wilson, ASM dan sebagainya.
Okay, so Newcastle pretty much everyone is fit, I think. There isn't any more importantly Jamie Lassell and Matt Ritchie, who were previously suspended, so they're back. Yeah. And Kieran Clark, who got that red card last week, last game week, out, which is good for me because I don't rate Clark. I feel that kind of decision making is terrible and doesn't help Newcastle. So fine, he can stay away. So everyone else is fine. Paul Dummett, people aren't considering anyway. So for Burnley, Tarkowski is back. So that will definitely help the defense. Ashley Barnes is still out. So that's not, it looks like he'll be out until the end of the year. Ashley Westwood is back as well. So, but admittedly, we aren't gonna look at picking these players. So the key players for Burnley that you probably want to look at are Chris Wood and Maxwell Cornet.
Cornet main ke kalau ada orang berminat?
Yes, and I do believe that you have space and your most of your team is set up. If you want to sell Mbuemo, then Cornet might be a good option. I know he's going to AFCON, most likely going to AFCON sooner or later. But Burnley's fixture run is quite good. In the next 5, they play Newcastle, which is this week. Then they also play Watford.
West Ham, Watford,
and Everton. So 3 out of these, the next 5 are all good matches. So it makes sense to, keep him. If you have him, play him, and if you don't, you might want to consider. Okay,
bagus. So kau boleh meyakinkan manager kalau Connect is a good pick for upcoming fixture lah, Christmas period ni. Next, kita pergi Southampton dengan Brighton. Anything that we should worry from both camp?
Hang on, why? Oh, sorry. Can you move back?
Kalau nak tengok apa, Livramento punya ni lah, position lah.
Can you move the screen? Okay, sorry. Okay, so this Livramento again, he wasn't on. He didn't have a good game either. So it really is a question in terms of fitness. He is fit. So, but will he continue to start? I'm not sure. Yeah, so
aku nak dia main minggu ni.
Okay. I don't know. I mean, it all depends on how Hassan thinks about it.
So no injury lah, no nothing injury we should consider lah.
Oh, no, I think some key players coming back is Walcott and Diallo. Walcott lah a bit more, but the key players are all that we
Okay.
consider out. In terms of the flow to Southampton's attack, yeah, Stuart Armstrong for me is still a big miss, so he's still out. Okay, so Brighton. So Graham Potter has talked about needing to manage some like Lamptey, for example. So Lamptey is a because he was benched last week and he came in as a sub, so I expect him to play this week. But there are some injuries that let's see, Adam Webster, Adam Lallana. So last week was not great for Brighton. Kept getting a few key injuries as well. So it'll cause a bit of a reshuffle at the back. But the good thing is that Duffy, who was subbed, if people still have Duffy, he should come back in now that Webster is out. Yeah. So whoever had him on the bench is. But the problem is, of course, with the reshuffling in the defense is because a lot of people still have Sanchez. Yeah. So that kind of potentially puts that clean sheet at risk. But it is possible because Southampton's attack hasn't been great. Sure they scored 2 goals last week, but it's not that comfortable. I wouldn't be too comfortable.
Brighton dapat dia get something last game lawan West Ham 1-1 tu kan. So macam
Mope scored again. So this guy, I wouldn't rely him to be. I would never pick him to be a regular goal scorer, but he does randomly turn up.
Okay. So itulah Brighton walaupun dia punya form not so good tapi dia still keep nicking point, so okay lah for Brighton ni. Siapa ada keeper Brighton just keep him lah. That's all I can say. Next game Wolves lawan Liverpool. Okay, especially SSL Liverpool lah. Adakah semua sihat? Adakah yang perlu diberi perhatian?
Okay, quick one on Wolves first. So apparently Daniel Podence, who had COVID-19, so he's back, but we don't know he can play. Ready to play, maybe not lah. I think we can. Effects of COVID-19 can depend on each person, so maybe he'll just be on the bench. Neves is back from suspension, so that's fine. Yeah. Other than that, but neither of these really will impact on Wolves' style of play. Yeah. For Liverpool, again, similarly, Firmino is still not yet ready. So for holders of Jota, you should be fine. Don't worry. I expect Jota to continue to play. There's no real change in terms of any injuries for Liverpool. Like Harvey Elliott and Naby Keita, they're not back yet. Yeah, but they said that Keita and Gomez might be ready, coming soon. So given that there is the Champions League in midweek, so we don't know.
So Klopp takkan buat any surprises nak buat any.
I wouldn't worry about it because Liverpool have already qualified for the next round, and they should qualify at the top of the table, so they've secured that. Yeah, so they should be able to play a good strength team. Yeah, but again, but who knows, because it is rotation season, so it can happen.
Okay lah. Tapi aku harap Salah Jota main lah ya. Okay, kalau tak yang sebab ramai definitely akan captain for this week lah ya. Alright.
Yeah.
So next game Watford lawan Man City. Aku nak tahu team news Man City itu definitely. Okay, sebab apakah asset Pep Guardiola punya drama ni, adakah semua player Man City sihat ke atau macam mana?
Okay, the captured from the press conference is that everyone is fit except for Ferran Torres. But there are some quotes from the embargo press conference, which does worry people a bit, especially with regards to Foden. So, I mean, they were saying about how Pep was saying about how Foden still wanted to play, but he couldn't. He's one of those who can play for through pain, but didn't. I feel like I want to share some. Hang on, let me share this if you don't mind. This is from the embargo. The embargo was information was released this morning, I think about 6:30 or something like that.
Okay.
Okay, this is from on Twitter. Okay, so if you read the article, it's about how Phil Guardiola praised Phil Foden for wanting to play. Yeah, he does as he's fit, but if you this part circle, he loves playing football too much, even in a bad situations to play and play, and not all of them like this. So in one phrase, he's praising Foden that even though he's got some pain, he still wants to play. Now he says today he was training, he's not thinking about the injury now. I don't know for tomorrow if I choose him, but soon he will be back. It's really the sakit hati betul lah. This kind of quote we just making FPL managers try to what does he mean? What's he
So,
trying?
so maksudnya kalau siapa ada Foden lagi, apakah nasihat kita? Kau
For
ada?
me, yeah, I'm one of those guys who have Foden, and I'm one of those guys who didn't move from Foden to Jota, and get those 60 points that he got previously. So it's really hard. I'd like to think that he is fit, he's ready to play because I mean last week he was on the bench, and if you look at the article, it does say at the top there Foden is fit after an ankle injury, also available again. So this is from the embargo side, but in the normal press conference, he pretty much said that everyone is fit apart from Ferran Torres.
Yeah.
So I think we're being set up for this isn't just for Foden in the fact that Pep Guardiola is going to rotate. And it's expected. We're gonna have to. So we're just going to have to get ready to see what happens there. Yeah, and Kevin De Bruyne is fit as well. If you see there in the middle
Yes,
there,
yes.
so he pretty much has everyone except Ferran Torres. So I mean, have your Manchester City player because the thing is Manchester City plays Watford and Watford are memang bolos suka bolos goal. They an attacking side at the moment. The defense is so
Ranieri tak akan tukar dia punya polisi ya. Definitely they will press. So it will be
probably it's hard to guess. I mean, I will not be able to really figure out who's going to start. Even Bernardo Silva, who's been in hot form, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets benched this week.
Betul.
So my advice for the managers out there is simply that just have your Manchester City player, but if he gets benched, don't be too upset about it because it'll happen.
Bila dengar kau punya news ni, at least okay lah, aku try lah main Gundogan. Kalau dia main, adalah. Kalau tak ada, bench lah. Itu je.
Yeah, betul. Alright.
Okay, let's Watford, anything you want to touch?
Watford, Massina, another of their defenders is out. So which tells you which
Foster still out, so Beckman is not really
and Foster out is the big loss for me. So he does help the defense quite a bit, and we saw how he performed previously. But there's nothing.
Mungkin tak terkejut lah match ni, mungkin 3-0, 4-0, 4-1.
But I think a lot of people still expect Watford to score.
Yes.
There's a whole lot of debate going on at the moment between Dennis and King. So in terms of picking players, because now that everyone's established that Watford are a goal scoring side. The current debate is the current popular theory is that King is a better pick, even though Dennis has more points. Because King's underlying stats, his expected goals, he's getting he's higher.
Also taking penalties.
Yeah, and also taking penalties. That's right. Whereas Dennis, even though he's got more points, but then his expected goals is much lower, and plus there's also the problem that he may go to AFCON, the African Cup of Nations. Yeah. But for me, if I were in that position, I'd probably still pick Dennis because I'm not too worried because AFCON is still 4 or 5 weeks away and he can do some serious damage before that. It's just that we don't not to pick him this week against Manchester City. I don't know.
Yalah. So it's okay. Next week kita boleh cerita lagi pasal Watford asset sebab dia ada favorable fixture moving forward. Okay. Aku pun tertarik nak bawa masuk lah. Okay. Next is Leeds lawan Brentford. Macam aku dengar Brentford ready fit ke?
Yeah, so the good thing with Leeds is that some good news finally is that Bamford may be ready. Although I probably expect him to be on the bench. Yeah, because what Bielsa said that it is likely that Patrick Bamford and Luke Ayling, for that matter, will be available this weekend. But
That will be a
when he
boost.
says likely, yeah, I expect that to just be on the bench. Other than that, no. Yeah, I mean that's about it, right?
Yep.
I think, and just talking about Leeds, and Rafinha owners were pleasantly surprised when he stood up to take that penalty. Yeah, and for me, it was I was so annoyed, but because it also got rid of that clean sheet you were talking about earlier,
Yalah.
I think you were annoyed as well. Yeah, but we do not. Is Rafinha now the first choice penalty taker? I'm not so sure. Given that he only
Kalau
took it,
Bamford dah balik, sure dia the first tackle kot.
I would be. Yeah, I expect Brentford to probably come once he comes back, he'll be the first choice. Okay, Brentford. So Brentford lost against Spurs, and if you watch that match, once again you'll see Mbeumo making fun of himself. I don't know his decision making. It seems like he's gone down. He totally
Mungkin game ni dia score
doesn't.
kot.
I think he's just lost the plot. So I don't know. And when the manager did some substitution, Brentford ended up a wing back as well again. In the formation shifted. So yeah, I don't know. We don't know his score against Leeds. The thing with Leeds is that they kept 2 clean sheets in the past. No, they didn't keep 2 clean sheets, but they haven't let in a lot of goals. The defense have been quite solid of late. So against Brentford, who aren't exactly a goal scoring side, it might be tough.
Okay.
Brentford. Okay, so just on Brentford, I think everyone is fine. I didn't really look. Let me just check.
Tony, the likes of Tony and Bomo lah, ramai orang yang berminat lah untuk tahu.
Yeah,
Kalau
so
main,
those guys are still fit. Yeah, it's still just Raya and Ajay, key players who are still out. Yeah. Oh, Wisa is an option though, because Wisa is back fit, and we know that he's been a super sub for Bradford as well. So I would bank on Wisa scoring, but then for FPL purposes I wouldn't put him in anyway.
okay. Ya, okay. Ini next ialah yang menarik. Manchester lawan Crystal Palace. Adakah aku tak sempat tengok press conference draft lagi. Tak sempat pun nak tengok, tapi did he share anything?
Not really. And it's been too soon to see what in the impact Manchester Rangnick will have on the squad. So who knows what we'll do there. So it's nice to see Carrick sign off his short term with a win.
Yep.
And more importantly, the return of Ronaldo as well. Yeah, but
betul, ramai yang tertarik asset Manchester sebab macam kau kata starting this week until like forever dia banyak good fixture lah.
Yeah. So it's a question now because Cavani had an injury doubt. Apparently Ronaldo is now might be an injury doubt as well, so that's not good. I'm trying to find the info on that, but okay, I'll get back to that.
Okay.
But Shaw is also may still not be ready to play, and I think in a way it's good because Telles can
solidify.
I think Telles is a bit better at the moment because Shaw is problematic. It's an interesting match to see whether or not Manchester United will keep up that form because they are up against Crystal Palace, who will need to bounce back after a couple of disappointing matches.
Aku tak mengharapkan apa-apa lah Crystal Palace this game. Aku tak terkejut Manchester kalau menang 3-0 lawan Crystal Palace.
I don't agree with you because I think it's just that I think that Manchester United's midfield is still weak. People with Fred, who even injured his own keeper last week. that led to the goal.
Tengok referee bagi gol tu ya, aku macam okay. Mungkin sebab dia
because
tengok
it wasn't a foul because it was committed by his own player, by their own player. So that's why it was allowed. It's frustrating, but it is what it is. But to Manchester United's credit, they came back. So it was quite impressive to see. I have to admit, despite not being a fan of Manchester United.
So ada juga ramai berminat Manchester United punya asset, tapi nasihat aku adalah tengok game ni dulu. Macam mana Raf punya line up. But I expect people like players like Sancho, Rashford mungkin akan menjadi tarikan after this kalau Raf start playing lah, and the price is still okay, 8.9, 9 plus, and even Greenwood kalau dia dapat start main, I don't know, 7.3 macam tu. So that's apa yang boleh berminat lah.
Yeah, I can see Rangnick, not making too many changes for this one because he hasn't really had enough time with the team yet. Yeah, but yeah, people like Sancho and Ronaldo who are doing well at the moment, is probably not wise for him to drop them just yet, until he figures out the squad. For Palace,
McCarthy?
one of the problems with McCarthy is still out. Yeah,
Alamak.
so and Anderson is also out, the defense, so it is causing some issues there.
Confirm lah 3-0 macam ni.
But Gallagher is I really rate Gallagher, so and I think if Benteke starts, he will cause that Manchester United defense a few problems. He can really give Harry Maguire the run around there. So we'll see. Yeah, I don't know. I think Manchester United will probably win, but it will be a close one, maybe 2-1.
Okay, no clean sheet lah akhirnya kepada Guita. Okay. So next one, Spurs lawan Norwich. Ada ramai asset manager mempunyai asset Spurs. Luckily aku ada Son, dia perform, tapi ada orang yang ada Kane, dan bila Kane tak score last week, dia dah macam tak perhatilah kan, dan nak drop dia. Tapi aku rasa hold lawan game Norwich ni, mungkin Kane boleh perform. So any news?
Okay, for Spurs, Romero is still out, so that's fine. GLC will probably be only available after this. Yeah, so it's pretty much the squad that we saw last game week. And okay, Norwich, when you look at Norwich have been quite solid lately. And to be fair, this did happen earlier in the season where they managed to keep 2 clean sheets in a row before they got bamboozled by Chelsea 7-0. So so it may just be a false dawn, because once again they doing quite well and holding off and collecting points for the past 4 matches. Will that happen? Will that? I don't see that Chelsea 7-0 something like that happening with Spurs Norwich, but it is a question of for Kane. Is his confidence shot? Is there an issue there? I think people are frustrated, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's only 1 or 2 goals in this, and we don't know Kane will score is a problem.
So adakah kita boleh advise untuk captain player macam Kane atau Son this week instead of Salah?
A lot where Spurs is concerned, a lot of people were waiting to see what happened in the last game, which was against Brentford. Yeah, and again Spurs struggled to score. Son finally scored, but Kane didn't score. I think if Kane had scored in that game, he definitely would have become a good captaincy option here. But because he didn't, I think people aren't gonna play that game. They're not gonna captain him. Those who have him will keep him, of course, but no one's going. Even against Norwich, I can't see anyone bringing him in now, even if they could. Because you got Kane on one side and Cristiano Ronaldo on the other. Who's coming off goals? Ronaldo is. So who are you going to pick here? Of course you'll go and pick Ronaldo.
Yeah. Okay. So that's the predicament lah. Okay. Tapi I think tengok Conte dah semakin make dia punya squad lebih organised. So you can see the clean sheet keep coming. I expect another clean sheet. And Malaysia kalau ada orang nak invest asset macam Reguilon dengan Emerson Royce, mungkin it's a good time. Kalau tak mampu, aset-aset seperti Man City, Liverpool dan juga Chelsea yang mahal-mahal sekarang wingback dia.
I got to give you props, Hafiz, for picking up Reguilon, because it seems like he's the best value Spurs buy at the moment. So far, since the new manager came in, he's the one who's performing and bringing in the points. Son has been poor. Kane has been poor, not worthy of the investment when you got a cheap comparatively regular is only what 5 point. How much you buy it for? 5.1.
1.
Yeah, and yeah, he's got the goods.
Okay, let's go to the next match. Steven Gerrard akan melayan Leicester, Brendan Rodgers. Ni kira anak buah juga dulu. Macam Celtic dengan Rangers punya game pula. Aston Villa lawan Leicester. Okay.
Yeah.
So what's the latest news in both camp?
Okay, frustratingly for Aston Villa fans is that Leon Bailey got an injury again. So and Gerrard said that he's probably he probably won't see him until Christmas. So it's frustrating because I feel that he is one of the talents in the squad, but he keeps getting injured, and that's not going to help. But they did put up a good match last week before but they still lost. But it looks really good for Villa at the moment. I'm quite pleased. Well, as a Liverpool fan, I'm happy that Gerrard is starting off the season well. Yeah, so I can see him making more changes and slowly making some strong improvement to the team. So the only other injury question is Matt Target, who he fell a bit weirdly against Manchester City last game week. So we don't know for sure how. Okay, so Leicester side. Tillmans, the key player, apparently he's training, but he may not be back yet. Yeah, I think he may be fit, but only at most on the bench.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So if you remember last week, Madison had to get treated during the match. Yeah, but it seems like he's okay. Yeah, so he might be ready. Something wrong with his bum.
Ramai juga peminat Madison tiba-tiba scored back-to-back goal kan. So ada juga yang nak tengok harga dia pun masih murah, bawah 7 juta. And then adakah Vardy indication from Rodgers dia akan main lagi in the space of 9 days?
No, there's no clue given away on that. So who knows?
Setakat ni macam kita salah lah. Kita ingat boleh rotate dengan Daka, tapi dia still main ya.
Yeah, he still plays, and in a way it goes to show that Rodgers really likes Vardy, and it feels like the squad is built around him. Yeah, but it might be dangerous if they keep doing it. So Daka coming in this weekend might be. Yeah, one thing to remember: Leicester still also have a Europa League game midweek, so that has to factor into the thinking. Yeah, so maybe Daka will only play in the Europa League, and they'll risk Vardy for this one as well.
Okay, alright. So this could be another open game. Kalau kau tengok, ramai juga ada terfikir nak menggantikan aset seperti Antonio. I think untuk Antonio Price tu, Watkins is not a bad choice untuk ni kita suggest sebab Aston Villa walaupun lepas ni lawan Liverpool, tapi dia ada a few matches after that, Norwich dengan Burnley tak silap. So maybe Watkins can fill that void lah kalau kata you nak change Antonio kalau dah tak tahan lah. Okay. Alright. So next is the last match yang kita nak preview iaitu Everton lawan Arsenal. Everton tak tahulah ada siapa-siapa ke yang dah balik DCL ke apa or masih sama, and also Arsenal lah macam mana situasi Saka and the team.
Okay, so a little bit good news with Everton is that Yerry Mina has been training. I think it's really important. We don't know he'll be ready. It's not confirmed yet, but the good thing is that he does play late. They are playing the Monday night match, so it's still a few more days for him to be fit, and they really need him. Yeah, so but I think it's still good for Arsenal because Everton haven't found their groove yet. Yeah, and it should still be a decent match for Arsenal. DCL isn't ready. Apparently, the Rafa Benitez said he'll need maybe a couple more weeks, which means that probably maybe after Christmas, that he'll be ready. So in terms of attack, avoid Everton players. Apparently Rondon is injured now as well, but Rondon it's not a big loss because he wasn't performing anyway. For Arsenal side, I don't think anyone is because Saka was on the sub bench last week and he came in. So the question with Arsenal isn't so much on injuries. It's the question of how he shuffles the pack. Aubameyang has not been good at all recently. So will he be given a rest? Who knows? You know, Martinelli came in last week and did quite well apparently. Yeah. So, but of course, Emil Smith Rowe scored the goal against Manchester United, and so it's really a question of how they line up, and it's hard to tell how they're going to whether or not Arteta will rotate. It's hard to figure it out.
Okay. Alright. So, yalah, mungkin aset seperti Smith Rowe masih akan bermain. So, itu ramai yang ada lah. And also Ramsdale. So, that is why I think the most popular picks of players lah from that game. Okay. Alright. Kita dah run through all the team news. Okay. Let's go to our team plan for this week. I go to you first, Min.
Yep.
This is your team.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
Captain TAA. Oh, ni rakan FPL tanya.
Okay. So firstly, Ramsdale, there's a bit of relief that I now have another keeper to play, who will play after last week, Hilang. Rudiger continues goal scoring track. Cancelo James back, which is great for me. So TAA. So the question, I currently have my captaincy on TAA. Last week I actually had it, but I changed in the last hour to Salah. So again, this week again he's back on the captaincy, but we don't know. I'll change. I'm not sure, but it's just that they are playing away against Wolves, who I felt are pretty solid, but they're not great at scoring goals. So I felt that Alexander Arnold, who has a chance of clean sheet, and if he gets attacking return, he could equal or even get more than Salah, assuming Salah doesn't go ballistic. It's dangerous play, I know, and I think because right now Salah is the captain to go for, so I wouldn't recommend it unless it depends on your risk appetite. Okay, then Bowen, who although James is back, but that left flank that we talked about against Chelsea, so I'm putting him on. Mason Mount, who had a good game last week against West Ham. Okay, so the Chelsea West Ham match isn't that. I actually have 4 players for that match, which is
Jangan tiba-tiba Snow dah.
Hey! Oh, that's okay. That's at London. Okay, so if London gets snowed out, there's quite a few London matches that will disappear. Okay. Okay, you just put me off there. Oh, you better not. Yeah, okay, but in a way, Hafiz you're right that that is a risk that when you have too many players from one squad. We saw what happened with the Spurs match. You have to, but unfortunately, not many people had Spurs and Burnley players. But that is a risk that's going to come up, and you just, if it happens, it happens. And but it comes back to what we said before this whole busy period about how important it is to have a sub bench, a proper sub bench who will play, who can come in when needed. Even if they score you 1 or 2 points, it's still points. So don't pick. So if at least 2, I think your recommendation was at least 2 out of 3 of the sub bench are starters. Okay. Other than Salah, so Salah, of course, crazy not go. Foden is. It's been so frustrating for me to own Foden, and I haven't had him. And he hasn't returned for me since I bought him. So, but here we are again, 1 more week. Let's see how we go. We don't know he'll start. Even if he doesn't start, he should still sub in, because they can't not give him minutes to.
Tak apalah, kalau kata dia langsung tak main, ada Tony boleh. Mana tahu Tony score lawan Leeds.
Yeah. So Mbeumo is a problem, and I've just had it with him. I'm not interested, so I'm actually planning to get rid.
Okay, kau nak buat live transfer ke?
Okay. Boleh? Okay, I'm pretty confirmed as to who I'm going to pick. Okay, so let's
Berapa juta kau ada?
Let's go through it. I've got, hang on. Okay, let me share my screen.
Banyak duit ya?
Yeah, I've got a fair bit to play with, because you can see that my there's an argument that my team doesn't have a good team structure, because it's going to be hard for me to get premium players like Kane, Ronaldo in. Yeah, but I'm not too worried about that. I just want my players to perform. Okay, so hang on now. Let me share my screen. I don't know why. It's a bit slow. Okay, got it. Okay, so I have. Can you see my screen?
Okay, sekejap. Loading.
Oh, a bit slow. Okay, so I have 1.5 units to play with. So we got Mbuemo here.
7
And then if I
juta.
look, yeah, so 7 million now. So I've been looking at the fixture list, and you Maxwell Cornet against Newcastle. That's one option. Gallagher against Manchester United. That's another option. It is an option because Manchester United's defense is still quite bad. They still let in 2 goals last week against Arsenal, and in terms, they are top in terms of the expected goals conceded. In terms of shots conceded in the box. They're among the top in the past few matches. Then I have Emil Smith Rowe or Saka against Everton. And to be fair, and that is where I'm leaning to now. Okay, so I'm pretty
Aku
much
tak
going
boleh
to.
suggest ke? Madison?
No, I'm not a great fan of Madison. I feel he could dip anytime. And plus, it's against Aston Villa, who I currently have a bit of a fancy for with Steven Gerrard. I just and Aston Villa are playing at home anyway, so I feel that it's going to be harder for Leicester without Tillman. Okay, so I'm pretty much decided. So I'm going for Smith Rowe. I think that Yerry Mina may be back, but I like Arsenal's run of matches. So if you look at,
aku tak boleh salahkan kau sebab itulah ramai yang orang akan berminat pun. Smith Rowe. Saka pula macam injury doubt kan. Dia main ke tak, I'm not sure. Tapi
yeah, he should be fit already, but then but the fact that he's getting a bit injured, I'm a bit worried about his fitness as a whole. So he may not get as much play time during this week. So I really considered Saka because I felt that Saka is still the more attacking between Saka and Smith Rowe. But in terms of fitness, I'm more comfortable with Smith Rowe, and that's why I'm going for it. So if you look at the matchups, Everton, Southampton, West Ham, Leeds, Norwich, Wolves, so they're not really facing any of the top sides for until next year, which is Manchester City. So I feel comfortable in putting him in. And apparently his price is going to increase, is projected to increase in about 5 minutes time. So I'm just going to do that now and settle it. I'm probably not going to take a hit. I did consider putting in Dennis for Huang.
Tapi Dennis boleh tunggu next week kalau nak buat.
Yeah, because I've just decided I'll just leave Huang on the bench, and then if I might pick Dennis up next week because he is playing Manchester City this week, so I feel it's not that urgent. I know he's going to AFCON, but I don't care. So that's it. I've done my transfers.
Okay, good. I think your team settle. Cuma kalau aku maybe yelah Bowen lawan Chelsea tu je lah yang mungkin a bit ni, tapi kau dah kata Alonso tu can be disruptive. I think macam Tony deserve a place somewhere there if possible lah. Itu je lah lawan Leeds. But
well, he is my first sub, and if there's one thing I know that I wouldn't be surprised if at least one of these players suddenly disappears due to rotation.
Alright, mungkin Foden lah.
He's already disappeared due to rotation. What are you talking about?
Okay. Let's go to my team. I think my team macam aku tak ada buat apa-apa transfer lah since you mentioned that Gundogan is available but not sure whether he start or not. So aku punya line up macam ni. Aku rasa first time aku main 5-4-1 ni. So Guita will be in the goal. Okay, then TAA, James, Cancelo, Reguilon. Itu will be definitely my starting. And then aku rasa macam nak letak Livramento lawan Brighton. Mungkin dia boleh dapat attacking ataupun clean sheet lawan Brighton. Okay. Over Gallagher dan Antonio. Walaupun kau rasa Gallagher can do something lawan Manchester, but I still feel Manchester has the upper hand. And so that's why aku letak Livramento. I think aku selalu overlook him. Why not give him a chance? Aku give him this week chance untuk dia main first 11 aku. Okay. Then Gundogan, macam kau kata fit, aku akan play him. Kalau dia tak main, then my first sub will be Gallagher. Jota, Son and Salah will stay. My captain will be Salah. I think that's my safe pick. And then Tony will be leading my line. So Antonio, aku rasa aku akan bench lawan Chelsea, lawan my team pun. But Antonio punya form, to be fair, has been poor. So I think he deserve a benching this week.
Yeah, I don't fault you for putting Antonio. It's becoming, Antonio's become like that pick, like when people picked him Son and Kane a few weeks ago, expecting that form to flip over, and it hasn't happened. So for Antonio, it's much the same. He has not scored for like 5 or 6 weeks now. So wait for him to score again, get that form back before you consider. So I can totally understand you benching him. Gallagher, on the other hand, I feel that I'm frustrated. I really like Gallagher, so although I couldn't, I'm not fitting him in yet because it's just that Palace, between Palace and
ni kau punya soft spot lah sebab kau ada Gallagher dulu mula-mula.
Yeah, that's right. And he was in the one differential thing that we did last time was we only did it once, and I put Gallagher in as someone to look out for. But when I look at your squad, I feel it makes me wish that there was a 5-5-0 formation. So you could have Gallagher instead of Tony, because between Gallagher and Tony, I do feel that Gallagher will be the better pick. But okay, all right. So Livramento, Reguilon, yeah.
Kalau nak main Gallagher, then I think the obvious atau the reasonable is Livramento bench lah. But I want to give Livramento a chance.
Yeah, I understand wanting to give him a shot at the limelight. But okay, all right. Yeah. So I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't think your Guita will get a clean sheet. So I'm sorry you had to go through his Guita's non-performing time, and now he's up against Man U, who just rediscovered some goal scoring form as well. So
okay lah, macam ni lah. When sometimes kan unlikely dia akan buat, kalau dia boleh keep clean sheet lawan Manchester ni, aku tabik dia lah. Sometimes this kind of matches yang dia boleh perform. Mungkin the big match, keep clean sheet, save a penalty or something like that, and perform me, give me big point.
Yeah,
or you give me a big fat zero again lah.
Yeah, that's why you want kalau macam what happened with me and Foster against Arsenal, 11 points, because it was save a penalty, that kind of thing. So hopefully he gets those save points to make up for it.
All right, so that's my team for this week. I'm not gonna make any move, and then plan next week where maybe Manchester United punya asset can come and give some indication which player to play lah. Tengok Ragnik punya game this week. Okay. Alright, Amin. Okay, apa-apa, any question nak jawab ke? Silakan.
Yeah, so Rakan FPL was asking about Grealish. So yeah, Grealish, he should be available. He, unlike Foden, he did get a chance, a few minutes off the bench last week. So I think he's if you were to put me on the spot about how City might line up, I would probably say that it'll be Grealish, Foden, Jesus,
yep.
Gundogan, KDB, and Fernandinho. Yeah, that's your midfield and attack. Yeah, because they're all ready and they all should play. Meaning that does mean that this week may be when Bernardo Silva gets a rest. Yeah,
dia dah naik harga tau, Bernardo Silva 7.4. Ramai orang bawa masuk dia tau.
Yeah, he should.
Kau jinx dia pula.
He's the quiet pick that people because he's not explosive, but he's been so consistent that I can understand that. But I do feel that Bernardo Silva will be given a rest. There was another Rakan FPL also. Yeah, Raka FPL also asked about Zinchenko, and yeah, he might Zinchenko but play, but I don't think it'll be at the expense of Cancelo. Pep has gone out to say that Cancelo it's like a different monster. He seems
Boleh jadi tak Cancelo bench this week?
no, I don't see it happening. If anything, Cancelo might play on the right instead of Walker. Yeah, I
Sebab
just can't.
last week lawan Aston Villa or Kyle Walker start, right? Okay.
Did he start? I'm not sure. I remember.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
tapi
but
Zinchenko did play one of the game. Yeah.
yeah, even if Zinchenko starts, I don't think it'll be at the expense of Cancelo. But I wouldn't pick Zinchenko as a pick anyway.
Yep. Okay, yelah, not long term lah. Kalau nak try satu week pan, maybe, tapi I won't go there lah. I won't go there.
Mahal, right?
Captain TAA, Azmin dah kata dia nak captain, so boleh lah ikut dia.
Itulah. I still got time. So yeah, let's see how we go.
Alright,
Okay.
I think that's all for this week, man. So before we close, don't forget our deadline will be at 7 p.m. today. And finalize your team before that. I think the most popular pick, the captain pick will definitely Salah lah this week. But if you want to go different, you have Kane. Walaupun tak score last week, maybe boleh bagi dia Chan. Aku kalau kata nak bagi Chan lawan Norwich, aku tak terfikir lah. Tapi kalau berani boleh, why not kan? Nak be different, mungkin kau dah ranking jatuh gila-gila dan nak try Salah mungkin tak perform lawan Wolf, and then Kane atau Son boleh meletup lawan this week. Okay, and then kalau just tengok kat sini, macam kau kata dia Amin, Dennis is the most transferred in this week walaupun lawan Manchester City. Okay, then Jota, then Bernardo.
Those are the top three. Okay.
Yes, and then Rigolon, and then your player yang baru kau masuk tadi, Smith Rowe, is in the top 5 this week.
Okay. Yeah, so just now you said thinking that you said about thinking Salah might not perform. For me, I think Salah will still perform. So the challenge is to find someone who will perform better. I'm sorry, Salah is in the form of his life. It's insane.
Betul.
So,
tak macam
really,
last season lah. Sekarang Salah all the way. Nanti mungkin lepas dia pergi AFCON, baru kita cerita balik.
Yeah, his decision making so much better. His confidence is really strong. So
lawan siapa pun dia boleh goal. Yep. So I think last word from me. Good luck to all managers. Okay, stay safe and good luck for this week. Min?
May the force be with you always.
Take care. Bye bye.